Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today's subject is how to bring forth certain aspects of the psyche or personality at will, how to call forth consciously different emotions or different aspects of the self. So some people believe that you are able to consciously bring forth a certain part of yourself or your personality, and be able to project this to the world. So some people believe that this works, and there are methods and techniques for actually being able to project what you need to project at the appropriate time. So I'm not saying that this works or not. You've got to decide for yourself, but I'm talking about the idea, the theory, and the tools and methods that are used to do this. So, usually people tend to, the environment dictates what we bring forth from ourselves, so that we may be crippled by fear, timidity. Sometimes we may be angry, be in a bad mood. And so sometimes we may react in ways that are not conducive, that are not positive. And sometimes we may create problems with our depression, our anger, our own fear. So is there a way to control this, or to be able to somehow control what you're projecting or bringing forth from your psyche? Okay? So if we think of a person as a multifaceted thing, we all have the inner trickster. We all have this sexual, seductive side used to attract someone. We all have this anger, this strong warrior part of ourselves. And we all have fear. We all have this inner trickster that is funny. So we have these different parts of our personality. Are there ways that we could consciously switch these on and off, basically? Now, this doesn't mean just being fake and artificial. You don't have to use this all the time. But it's saying whenever what you're projecting may be problematic or detrimental, like if you're really scared before a job interview, things like that. So this is not saying to use this all the time and be fake, but what it is saying is that there are ways to control negative reactions, okay? Now, actors are able to do this all the time. You notice that an actor is able to bring forth all kinds of things from their psyche. So that, what's an example? Harrison Ford, Eddie Murphy, hell, I don't know, Ben Affleck, whatever. They're able to play all kinds of roles. They're able to play some rich, successful stockbroker, or a ladies' man, some kind of a playboy, or someone like in the Fast and the Furious that drives these cars and they're cool. They may be a boxer. They may be cool. They may be a nerd and awkward. They may portray some genius or whatever. Somehow these actors are able to bring forth all kinds of things from their personality. So are we able to do the same thing? So, first of all, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis involves going into a relaxed state of mind and giving yourself suggestion. Now, I've already talked about this in a previous video, so I will only touch on this for a second. Repeating an affirmation over and over and over is conscious autosuggestion, and it's a technique used to program your mind. Okay? Then there's neuro-linguistic programming. There is the use of trance states in hypnosis. When you hypnotize someone, you do an induction, get them into a relaxed state of mind, and they repeat a suggestion. In self-hypnosis, a really simple self-induction method is to simply close your eyes and relax and count backwards from 100 to 1. And then you repeat your suggestion, and then you come back out of it. So that's using altered states. That's using repeated affirmations. Okay, symbols are another way to mold your personality, things like that. Now, there's a much simpler method, which is what the actors do all the time. They don masks. So we all have different parts of our personality, and we can consciously bring this to the surface. So for example, let's say that you have a job interview and you're really nervous. So what do if you want to switch on the successful you to the job interview? It's very simple. You just close your eyes, relax, and you imagine this successful person that aces the interview. Okay? You imagine this successful person. And then you may visualize with your facial features. And it's you. And then you just kind of step into this image and open your eyes. And you believe it. Fake it till you make it. You act out this persona. Now, is it fake? Are you really faking it? Well, no, sort of. You don't fully believe it, but you are bringing this forth from your personality. At least you appear, you project confidence, okay? Because you are taking this image of timidity and fear and failure and replacing it with an opposite image of success, okay? So it's not necessarily fake. You're just you're scared. You have this image of failure. You're just putting an opposite image and stepping into that. Okay? Now, this may be hard at first, but with practice, it does become easier if you believe in this sort of thing. I'm not saying this is true, but it's up for you as an independent thinker to decide. But, try it out. See if it works for you. Experiment. Or let's say that you want to go talk to some girl you're attracted to. Okay, I'm kind of putting that from my perspective because I'm a guy, talk to a girl. Whatever applies, you're trying to attract someone and you're nervous, okay? This is this image of nervousness. You can just close your eyes and take a moment to imagine the sexy, suave person, okay? And then you just kind of step into this image and you act it out. It's not really faking it. It is sort of, but you're bringing this from you, okay? So you're controlling what you're projecting to the world, okay? And as I said, I'm not saying that you use this all the time, but whenever you would be, like I said, sometimes we're angry, depressed, sometimes we get in a bad mood, or our fear creates problems. This is how, in those special situations, you could overcome fear. You could overcome your anger or stress or whatever the case may be. If you're about to do something stupid or foolish, just think of an image of wisdom and kind of step into that image and believe it and think in this way. So basically you're creating a mask psychologically and stepping into that, okay? And this is a way to bring forth a certain aspect of your psyche. Now, some people may imagine someone from a movie, okay? Or they may imagine a figure from Greek mythology. So whatever works for you. Some people, it's real popular in the neo-pagan movement to use some kind of an animal, like a bear for strength or courage, or a lion. Whatever works. I personally think that using a human image just makes more sense. I mean, I know it's all Mother Earthy and all that, but to me, Just me. It makes more sense to think of a strong hero figure than a bear. That's me. Okay? So basically, you think of an image, symbolic or not, and you step into it. And it's that simple. Okay? Color symbolism is another method. Color symbolism. You may see yellow. Different cultures have different meaning behind colors. But some people see yellow as a symbol of happiness and joy, okay? Or a golden yellow, like the rising sun, okay? You imagine yourself imbued with joy or happiness. Imagine happiness surrounding you. And pull that into you and feel it. Now, this is imaginary. It's your imagination, but it works. Or some people believe, I'm not going to tell you what to think. You have to make up your own mind. If someone's laying in bed for hours and they can't sleep, they may imagine themselves surrounded in an aura of sleepiness. They may imagine sleepiness coming up through their legs and they're surrounded by sleepiness. Now at first, this may not be very effective, but with time, supposedly it becomes easier. Okay? So, the same thing, if you're angry, imagine that you're pushing it down. It's going down your legs, through your feet, and down into the ground. Through your visualization, you have released your anger. Okay? With time, it'll become easier. Or if you're stressed out or depressed, stress, depression, push it down through your feet and into the ground. Okay? Now, you could reverse the process. You could bring in an emotion such as happiness, joy. You could bring in sleepiness if you can't sleep at night. You could bring in a feeling of confidence. And you can do this by visualizing this energy coming up your legs, up your stomach, up your head, and being surrounded with joy. You may see it as a yellow light or yellow energy, or success, or whatever, confidence. See yourself imbued, surrounded by success. Believe it. Take a moment to breathe it in. Of course, this is symbolic, but some people believe this stuff works. Okay, when I'm stressed out, this is what I use. I take a deep breath, and I breathe out. And when I breathe out, I visualize the stress leaving me. And I imagine it as a black cloud, okay? A black cloud. All the stress is leaving my body. I take a deep breath. And I keep doing this. For one thing, I'm taking deep breaths. But, also this visualization seems to work. So you could bring in happiness, confidence, or you can remove by imagining it going through your body and into the ground. You could, as an actor, you think of this successful person and you allow yourself to step into it. Some people get into symbolism. The tarot has a lot of rich symbolism. Different symbols act as a way to go bypass your conscious mind to the subconscious aspect of the mind. For example, you may focus on the strength card to evoke strength. Okay, so symbolism is another way. Hell, corporations and, Coca-Cola Company, things like that. They use subliminal messages, They do. Whenever you're driving down the road, you see all these signs. McDonald's, Burger King, First National Bank. And, of course, you're just driving, but all this is going into your subconscious, okay? Consumerism, consumerism, consumerism. Make money and spend it at our bank. That's basically it. So if these same tactics and tools are being used upon us by wealthy business interests, theoretically, if that is the case, then why don't people reverse the process and actually use it to mold what they want instead of being pawns or tools to whatever political ways. Okay. So symbols, think of a mask, enter that. visualization. These are all techniques that you are able to switch on and off different aspects of your personality. If you're nervous about talking to a girl, imagine this suave, sexy person and step into it. Now, it may not work, but at least you'll seem confident. Or before a job interview. It's a way to take away anger, depression, eliminate stress, and to bring in happiness, to help you sleep at night. So this doesn't mean control every emotion and go through life like this, but in special circumstances where you may be angry, you may be having a bad day, you may be scared before a job interview, you may have lack of confidence. These are ways to actively manipulate to bring forth a certain part of the psyche or personality.